Hey kids, we're back. You see, I don't have the guitar on the bench. It's outside. I decided to do it outside. All right, so you're watching Guitar Quackery Live, and I'm about to walk outside. Here is the guitar on the neck jig. So I just finished the leveling part of the level, crown, and polish procedure, and I'm going to be recrowning. So today is a busy night here at the studio. The studio is Bob Elliott's Music Makers NY. You see some rental guitars here. So no one's here now because everyone's rehearsing. It's 8:46. So at 9, there might be some people here, unless they booked 2 or 3 hours at once. I don't know. We'll see. But I was considering doing the recrowning on the bench inside, but since it's quiet now, I'll do it here. I prefer to do it on the neck jig. So Guitar Quackery Live is the one and only live streaming guitar repair channel on YouTube. I believe it is. It's kind of cool. Customers can watch me work on their guitars, which reminds me I need to send a link to this customer. Okay, here you go. And now, okay, so see, he gets my link, and now he can watch me work on his guitar. And another thing is this. I also copy and paste the link on my phone here so that I can, we have a monitor over there in the area where people wait, and people can watch me live. But they can watch me live right here. People can watch me, or they can watch the TV. Now this didn't work again. I don't know why. Let's do it again. It drives me nuts when things don't work. Okay, I'm opening the app. Why is my volume not working? Okay. I think it might be playing. No, it's already playing something from before. I think there's like some kind of conflict. All right, let's try again. Okay, so this is a live stream, which means, you gotta wait for things to happen sometimes. That's how it is. Okay, and now I can see right there, it's out of sight for you, but it's going to be playing this live stream. Almost playing. Yeah, I can see myself right there. Okay, there's a small delay, obviously. So we'll be crowning the frets. I will use the red marker first to mark them in red. Well, the red marker is going to mark them in red, right? I use this little thingy to make sure that I don't mark the fingerboard. It's very practical. I was talking about my review that I posted today, this afternoon. I started working on it this morning, started editing, and I recorded the review last night. And this morning I was recording my studio narration parts with a black background. That I do at home. I have a green screen that's kind of like permanently in my living room. It's very discreet. You roll it up, you know, so it's like a briefcase kind of thingy. Not even a briefcase. It's like a long rolly thing. It's pretty long, but it's not in the way. It's on the floor. And then when I do my recordings, studio recordings with a black background, I just pull it up and I talk to the camera. Yeah, that's how I do it. Okay, so I have some crowning files here. At some point, I also need to protect the soundboard, but I can work on these frets without protecting the soundboard just yet. And I need to find the size. I have a feeling this is the size. Let's try. So this is the 4490 StewMac file, which is also called narrow medium. Oh yeah, this is definitely the size. So some people are surprised that I don't seem to be using diamond files. I do use diamond files. See, those people are coming out of the rehearsal studio. It's all good. It's a big studio, so there are quite a few people. That's Studio 1 there. That's the biggest studio in this rehearsal space. So I do use diamond files, but I start with these conventional files. This is a hardened steel file, I guess you could call it. Because they remove more material at once. Okay? And I don't want to be using a diamond file to remove the bulk of the material. But I have two diamond files right here. I might use one of them or both of them. So the red really helps me see what I'm doing. I basically go from a red fret to a fret that only has a thin pinstripe left in the middle. Hey. Yeah, a customer invited me to see a play. So she's involved in a theater, and she said that she produced a show. So she texted me yesterday, do you want to come and see the play? And I said, yeah, I'll consider it. I said, are you bringing any of your cute friends? So, and then I also asked another question. So she replied. She ignored the first question. I wonder why. And she answered the other question. That wasn't really an interesting question. I only asked her to make it not apparent that all I was interested in was the cute friends. Well, I gotta ask. Doesn't hurt to ask. So yeah, I think I'm going to accept the invitation to support the arts. I actually buy music sometimes. Sometimes if my customers have a release an album or something, sometimes I'll buy it. I mean, they support my work, I support their work. So yeah, I'll go see the play. Even if she doesn't bring the cute friends, it doesn't matter. So. Or maybe she doesn't have any cute friends. Yeah, so this is coming out really good, okay? I wish I had a close-up camera. Perhaps one day when I grow up, I will. And you can see that I'm constantly cleaning the file. It's a habit. I don't even think about it. So I guess they're taking a break. It isn't 9 p.m. yet. This morning I had to do a lot of texting during my recording session of the, for the narrations. And if you watch that video, you will see me say, I gotta put the phone, I gotta put the non-disturb mode on because people are just texting me. And it was for real. I actually had to do that. So, Aficionado, one of the regulars on this channel, said that he might want to open a guitar repair shop. Maybe he's watching, I don't know, because I'm not in front of my computer, I can't see. Sorry, which side am I using? This one. Yeah, make sure. Okay. Let's put this file away. So it's getting a bit loud now. Quite a few people there. All right. So he said that he wants to be a guitar tech. I think that's great. There are quite a few used guitars on this planet. I don't know if any of them are going to be taken to, the other planet. Some people with pipe dreams are selling ideas to the public. Yeah, I don't think we should be going to another planet. I think we already have a planet here. You want to go to another planet, like Mars? Go to Antarctica first, or to the Sahara Desert, see what it's like. It's relatively not too far away. And it's much more comfortable than on that other planet. So, what was I saying? Yeah, so, speaking of planets, we need to think of saving this one. One way would be to stop cutting too many trees. So we have enough guitars already. We can just maintain them and fix them. So that's one of the reasons why I even do this. I used to be a builder, And I'm going to be building again after I finish my basement renovation, which hopefully will be in March, actually. I'll be taking some time off in March, whatever that means, time off, yeah. But yeah, as a builder, you often use, you know, fresh wood to make guitars, except if you use reclaimed wood, which I have a lot of. So I live in Brooklyn, and very often people are renovating brownstone buildings, and they have wooden floors, not concrete floors. And then they convert them into concrete floors. So they pull a lot of those, they call joists, out and dump them. And those are 100 years old, often spruce or pine. Well, they are either spruce or pine, right? So, but often spruce, I noticed. So I've collected a bunch of those from neighboring buildings. And once I get back into building guitars, I want to use a lot of that wood, reclaimed wood. And I've been using reclaimed wood anyway. Also, there was a lumber company, there still is, but I used to have a different commute a few years ago on my bike, and bike meaning bicycle, not motorcycle. And I would always ride my bike by this lumber company. And I noticed that they would throw out a lot of, they're called kickers. So those are kind of like pallets for the forklift. And the kickers were made out of mahogany or other exotic woods. So now think about that. Why would they use exotic woods to make those kickers? You know, they're just basically throwaway supplies. Well, they don't cut those trees to make kickers. They're in the business of cutting lumber in large quantities and large pieces, and then they cut them down into smaller pieces. So as they are cutting the exotic wood, they end up with scraps. Now, when you cut large pieces of wood, you're going to end up with large scraps. Oh, I'm talking to that camera? This camera. Which camera is on now? Yeah. Now I'm addressing the right camera. See, I got confused because of all the commotion. Sorry about that. So, when you cut large pieces of wood out of tree trunks, you will end up with large scraps, large enough to make kickers. And the kickers are large enough to make guitar necks. So I would go by, and every day I would look for exotic wood that they would throw out. And I even developed a relationship with them. So sometimes they would save pieces for me. And they would even help me tie them on my bike. They had a way to tie them with these, you know, whatever. So, and sometimes I would tell them to keep them, and I would return with my bike with a trailer, because I have a trailer for my bicycle. So they're nice people. But then my commute changed, and and I got enough of that stuff now at home in my basement. So now it's even aged. So, and my basement is dry, by the way. It's a heated basement with vapor barriers under the concrete and radiant heat in the concrete that I built myself. So it's a nice basement, but it's still not finished. And I need to finish it so that I can put together a nice workshop. I have a workshop now there, but it's a mess. Okay, this looks good. Now, I need to organize this thing. So this is the file I'm using. It goes right here. These are the files I'm not using yet. Any of them yet. The brush. Now I need to protect the soundboard. So let's do that. I have these covers. Like the other day I was doing a guitar with a cutaway, and I forgot I had a cover with a cutaway for Martin. Okay, whatever. And it was a Martin, I think. Okay. So this will probably work. Where do I put this? How about here? So this neck is slightly wider, this fingerboard, but I can kind of work with it. Yeah, it's fine. And now I need some tape. So why don't I go get some tape? Let's see. Oh, let me check the battery here on my computer. Maybe I put the charger on. The charger's on a timer. That's the tape. Yes, sir. Hi. How are you? Yeah, I'm live streaming, but I can talk to you for a minute if you need. Oh, just saying hi. Yeah, how's the bass? I beg your pardon? Huh? Uh-huh. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Well, I don't think I did anything to fix the sustain, but... Well, the bone nut is only going to, work when you are not fretting the string. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. No, I don't think the bone nut will do anything to the sustain. But, if you're happy with the sustain, it's fine, yeah. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So, all right. Yeah, this is a customer who is one of the customers here rehearsing. I worked on his bass. I think I might have been live streaming his project. I believe so, yeah. Yeah. A few months ago. And I know that you couldn't hear what he was saying because I have a dynamic headset mic and it's really noisy right now here, so that's why it gets really noisy here. So bathrooms are, you go there, all the way back, turn left, all the way back, you can't miss. What was I saying? Yeah, it gets really loud here because obviously it's a rehearsal studio, and when it's busy, it's busy. Okay, here we go. So now we have the 14th fret here. This is when we start paying attention that we don't damage the guitar. I need to hold the file like this here. And for those of you watching who want to be working in this field, it's very rewarding. I mean, I don't get tired of it. A friend of mine who is also a guitar repair technician, once he was putting strings on the guitar, and he looks at me and he says, "I never get tired of it." And that's a good thing to hear. So I use that line sometimes. So these frets here, the last 3 frets, are really, really flat. So they will need a bit more recrowning work. But like I said, I'm using this file. So this, you know, removes a decent amount of material, especially if you clean it. Right? It doesn't even heat up the fret too much. Well, it depends how you use the file. If you do it's going to heat up the fret. So we were talking about those cute friends. I wonder if she's going to bring any for me as a reward for, you know, seeing the show, for agreeing to see the show. I guess I'll see, and then I'll report back. Because I know you are probably wondering about that. She's cute herself, but she's a customer. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I started playing guitar. In high school. Yeah, you see? So more time spent on these frets. I was talking about cute friends, so now I said friends. Cute frets. Okay. So, yeah, I don't know if this is delicate or not, but you know, the customer was the one that was just here. I was working on his bass. I mean, I worked on his bass a few months ago, so he's crediting me for improving the sustain, and I don't think I did anything to improve the sustain. And the nut is only going to an improved nut is only going to improve other things, not the sustain. So that happens sometimes, that people will credit you for something that isn't, you know, so. And sometimes people will blame you for something that has nothing to do with the work that you've done on their guitars, which is another good reason for these live streams. So I've had situations, and sometimes I wondered if those were just manipulations, that the people knew that there was something wrong and then just wanted to blame someone. So with these live streams, everything is documented. So if I discover some kind of problem, let's say internal problem with solder joints or something, well, it's documented. When I open the guitar, I show it, and it's recorded. And I also do private live streams, and I mean not unlisted, I mean private, which means no one can watch them unless I change the status. So on those live streams, I minimize the camera work. I just go through the job, and I minimize the talking. And I also actually might be watching a YouTube video or a movie or something while I'm streaming. Sometimes I just have my headphones on and I'm watching a movie as I'm working, or a movie or a video, or a live stream like Steve Cassidy guitar channel live stream, which, by the way, I recommend. Steve Cassidy, if you don't know how to spell it, it has 2 S's in the word Cassidy. Cassidy, not Cassidy. Steve. Everyone knows how to spell that. So yeah, so that would be one of the streaming channels I might be watching while I'm streaming myself privately. So those, I just call those archival live streams. So they still go on this channel, but you cannot find them. So if anything happens, I have an archive of the work that I did. So the customer never watched it. I never promised there would be a live stream, but I still did it. You see, I'm still working on this fret, on the 19th fret. Like now, I could tell the customer, listen, I'm going to charge you more for these 2 frets. You see what happened? I know the customer's watching now. Don't worry, I'm not going to charge you more. So the archival live streams, yeah, they're good because I archive archive my work. It also helps me really kind of like figure out my rates. So I do have flat fees for some services. Let me switch cameras, just, you know, to mix it up a little bit. So I do have flat fees for day-to-day services like a nut, fretwork, setup. But now I'm charging by the hour for, you know, some guitars. Okay, so the guitars that fall into the category of charging by the hour are parts casters, number one. Vintage guitars, old guitars. Okay, it's automatically going to be charged by the hour, especially if it's an old Martin. Now this one's old, not that old. It's a Martin. And any kind of modifications, any kind of structural repairs, by the hour now, okay? Because I'm just tired of losing money. I'm basically paying to do the work. So how would I be paying to do the work? Well, I pay to be here, right? So you can break down what I need to pay by the hour, how much I'm paying. And if I make just that much money by the hour, I still got overhead costs. So I'm still losing money. So you got to make sure that you make more so that you can pay the rent or whatever arrangement you have with the space. Could be a mortgage, whatever. That you pay for all the overhead costs during that time, that you pay yourself, that you can put money in your whatever accounts, IRAs, whatever, that you can save up for, you know, your savings account, that you can also put funds in your sick days account. So if you were working for a company, you'd be accumulating sick days. And then if you're sick, money comes out of that account and they pay you for the amount of sick days or sick hours that you've accumulated. And then after that, it comes out of your pocket, right? So same thing if you run your own business, you need to have that because you will be sick. You will need to take time off. So during those days, you can pay yourself salary. I actually do that. I have a payroll company. I have an app. I can just, or on the computer, log on to their website and I pay myself payroll. I run my own payroll. So which is, in my case, a combination of my hourly rate that I pay myself here and commissions, which are a percentage of the work that I did. And then that goes on my personal account through the payroll. The payroll company takes care of all the taxes and all that paperwork that I know nothing about. And then during tax season, which is now for last year, I can simply forward those PDFs to my accountant and he figures it out, right? So when you work for yourself, I think it's best to do it as if you work for another company. So I work for this company, right? So now, think about that. Let's say if I buy something for the company, or this, right? It comes out of the company account, let's say that this costs $100. I pay $100 with the company money. I don't need to pay sales tax also, by the way. So it costs the company $100, okay? But let's say if I want to buy this for myself, it costs $100, but it's going to cost me, if I think of myself as the company also, it's going to cost me more. Because I need to transfer money from my company account through my payroll to my personal account. Taxes get taken out. And then when I buy this, for me personally, that's not tax deductible. That's just I spent the money because I want to have a file for my personal use. But when I buy it for the company, with the company's money, it gets deducted from the profit, right? So I wouldn't even be paying any taxes on that $100. Now, if it's supplies, is different than if it's equipment. And I put this in two separate categories because equipment gets deducted, or tools. I don't know. I gotta ask my accountant. I actually am going to see him tomorrow. They said to do my taxes for last year. I already gave him all the paperwork. So the tools get deducted over the period of I don't know how many years. And I gotta ask him how many years. Maybe it depends on the tool. I don't know. But supplies are different because you use them up right away. So let's say if I buy fret wire, that's get deducted for that year. All right. But if I buy a computer, not the same thing. In either case, it costs me less to do this for the company. But then I don't own this personally, right? The company owns it. I know that can sound confusing, maybe to our younger audiences, but that's how it is, right? I don't own what the company owns. You see how much time I'm spending on these two frets? So those are the kind of things that I want to talk about on my upcoming channel. That's Guitar Quackery Business. By the way, I know I was wearing the same t-shirt yesterday, but I only put it on at the end of the day to do that review. So I'm wearing it today because I want to make a review of the, I want to do a live stream of the review of the Fender Strat, and then do a recording for the main channel again. But like I said, I won't be posting it tomorrow on the main channel, but I believe that I will be doing the live review tonight, later, after this guitar. If you just wait a second, I got a text message came in from a customer. Okay, so he'll be here at 4:30 tomorrow. So I got to put him on the calendar to pick up a guitar. Was I live streaming this guy? I can't remember. Okay. So you are watching a live stream, and I'm actually working, and this is part of me working, right? I need to do this. So he said 4:30? Yeah, right there. Okay. So I have a planner for my appointments. So now, hold on, let me put his name here. And that's a pickup. So I'll talk about this on my business channel as well. I can't really show you the records because you would see customers' names, and I don't want to do that. But it's a calendar that I have through Square. Okay, so Square is my credit card payment thingy. I can briefly show you. Well, they're coming out of there. Okay, just one person. So Square is this thingy, right? That's how I take my payments, credit card payments. Let me go back there. Okay. Sorry, just keeping an eye on the guitar. So that's also something I want to talk about on the business channel. How to plan your day, your calendar, and all that, right? Because I went through changes, and now this works for me. Might work for someone else as well. And so my calendar shows when I'm available for people to book appointments to come and drop off a guitar. Now, I don't always do it like that because I need to be flexible, right? If someone shows up here and I really want to work on the guitar, I'm not going to turn them down. We'll talk about that some other time. But so now I know that this guy is going to come at 4:30 to pick up a guitar. I don't want to have that time open on my calendar, so I had to put it on my calendar manually as what's called a personal event. That's how they call it on that calendar. It's not really a personal event, but I have on certain days segments on my calendar that I make available for appointments, and I only book appointments during those times. Now, what happens if there is no available time when people wish to book, when they're available? Well, I have a plan, and sometimes I need to do it that way. So basically, they book an assessment, right? They're going to bring their guitar. We're going to put it on the bench, and I will basically do like as if I'm doing a review of the guitar, take all the measurements, and they will watch me live. They sit right here. I put this bench a little closer here, and there's a monitor right there. They can see what I'm doing, and I throw images on that monitor from the microscope, from the overhead camera, etc., right? And then we discuss services. So now, if they can't book an appointment during my available times, then I have an option to book a Zoom appointment. In that case, they don't need to even book a time. They just book the appointment. And I tell them, based on very little information that I have, if it's going to be a 15-minute assessment, 30-minute, or 1 hour, right? So I kind of just use my best judgment based on what kind of guitar they have and what they told me about the guitar. And I always tell them to be very brief, okay, when they talk about their guitars. And that's done through text messages. So now, let's say that it was a booking for a half-hour appointment, right? So they pay the half-hour fee, and that will be applied towards the final payment, the final fee for the whole service. And it affects the sales tax as well. So I don't know how it is in other states, but in New York, my accountant told me, hold on, that consultations are not subject to sales tax, but the services are. So they save a little bit on sales tax because I don't need to charge the sales tax. I don't need to collect the sales tax. I don't really charge it. I collect it for the government. That's how it works. All right. So let's say there's no available time when they're available. Well, I tell them first, to try to book. Let's say we're talking about a half-hour appointment on the calendar, from the calendar. And let's say that they can't do it on those days and times. And I say, okay, just book a Zoom appointment. And then we'll find a time and I will do the assessment like I'm doing these live streams. And I've been also thinking of starting as live streaming assessments. Maybe, I don't know. Because I'm really having a conversation with a customer, right? So, but I've also done recorded assessments. And that was before I was doing live streams. So I would just record the whole thing, upload a non-unlisted video, and then send the link to them and they could watch it. I've used one or two of those assessments for a few of the videos on my main channel. Yeah. So I guess I could do a live streaming assessment that they can just watch without being connected, in a dialogue situation. Or if we can't find a time, not even for a Zoom thing, in which case I would do a recorded assessment. I guess I could do a live stream and then it gets archived and then they can watch it whenever. And that way, not a bad idea, right? I also create content for the channel, for this channel, automatically. So, so that's that. Okay, I'm done with this file. Now, let's take this file here. This is the diamond file. It's the original Z file. Just a little polish. It's been used a lot, so it's quite smooth. See, I don't spend much time with this file because I'm just basically smoothing out the surface for the next phase of the procedure, which is the polish. So the conventional file does produce a smooth surface. but it can also produce these chatter marks. So I want to make sure there are none. And honestly, I could skip this diamond file business altogether. It's going pretty quickly. And I flipped the file very quickly, right? Maybe you don't even see that at this distance, I don't know. How about now, like that? Yeah. So which side did I use now? I don't know. Yeah. And I still have these red pinstripes. So we'll be removing the red. So something I didn't show yesterday, because I didn't want to confuse the issue. This guitar does have a little bit of a apparent bridge lift. I'm not sure if it's an actual bridge lift, but I think I will explain it later in this live stream, because, you know, I don't want to give a guitar back that has a bridge lift, for sure. But sometimes it's the way that they glue these bridges on these guitars that is just ridiculous. And then they glue part of the bridge over the finish at the back. And sometimes it's a surrounding area of like 3 to 4 millimeters. And then you can insert a feeler gauge there, very thin one, but it's not actually a bridge lift. So I've removed quite a few bridges that were showing this kind of apparent bridge lift. And it takes forever to remove the bridge, and then it takes forever to clean up the surface. And the regluing doesn't take that long, but yeah. And it's a risky job as well, right? Whenever you do any kind of glue joint separation, you're taking a risk. So you need to think about that. There's a risk and reward ratio. Okay. And when there's a risk, a little rough spot here I can feel. That feels good. This pinstripe is a little wider than the other pinstripes, so that's the 6th fret. I think we talked about this fret before, right? It was higher than the others, and I had to take more material off. Gotta make sure it's properly recrowned. I'm sure it's not seated all the way. But Martin frets are glued in, so you can't tap them in. Yeah, it's look good. I'm good with this. The fret ends are good. I don't need to do any filing. Not in this case. Okay, so we need a toxic chemical here. Oh, look at all the comments. 13 people watching, 3 likes. Come on, guys. I need more than 3 likes. Where did I put my, here it is. Okay, check my battery. Check my audio battery. Good? All right, fine. Yeah, during some of the live streams at the beginning, I would lose my audio connection because I would drain the battery. So now I learned to check. And now I check periodically. I'm looking in the monitor here because I can see the guitar outside and I can see that no one is there. Like this, I can show you. Okay, empty space. All right, so no one's there. And that's a good thing, but I can see it right there. So I keep my eye on the guitar. See what I'm doing? I'm reusing these gloves. I'm all about the environment. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to another planet. I want to stay here. I like it here. On this planet. So, toxic chemical, big open space, kids watching, and that's you. So I don't want to tell you what the toxic chemical is. I don't want you playing with it. But it's going to remove the red marker. Just like that. I have a label here. It says what it is. So I'm going to keep it away from the camera so you don't see what it is. It's the usual toxic chemical used by people like me. And look, now I got some on my finger here. Ah. So it removes the red marker and other junk as well. All right? I noticed I used to just start sanding, but the red marker actually clogs up the fine grit sandpaper. So you should remove the red marker. It also removes a lot of the grit and, you know, metal shavings, microscopic metal shavings from the fretboard now and from the frets. I'm smelling it. I've inhaled plenty of this stuff. A friend of mine opened my eyes when he said he read on the internet the phrase that says, no amount of it is good. So, yeah, it's not good, right? So, it's a very volatile chemical, which means it evaporates very quickly. And we have high ceilings here, so it goes somewhere. I don't know where it goes. Airs out. Goes to the neighbors. Well, if they don't like it here, they can go to Mars or whatever other planet. Terraforming Mars. Yeah. Why don't you terraform the Sahara Desert first? See if it even works. You can practice here on this planet. Or even just a small part of the Sahara Desert. Looks good. Now this, I'm gonna put it somewhere. Over there. How about there? Whoop. Okay. And I can remove, so this is my toxic chemical right there. Here for now. No one's gonna touch it. And if they do, they shouldn't be messing with it. Don't mess with my things. No, I want to keep this on. Yeah, for the next phase. Which means I can remove the guitar now. I don't know if you see from here the neck jig, this part. So I release these. I don't know if it's in frame or not. Is it framed there, maybe? Okay, now this is for the nut. Release here. Okay, it goes here. And I don't want to lose this, so I always put it here. No one's going to touch it. Just like that. Here, I release the tension on the headstock. So I think that I might be the only shop in town that has a neck jig. I don't really know. I haven't heard of anyone else that has one. So that's what I usually tell my customers, that to the best of my knowledge, I'm the only shop in town with a neck jig. All right, so now this releases the guitar. That's a ratchet mechanism, ratcheting mechanism. Okay. We put this back. And now it's not going to fall. I can switch to this camera here. And let's see if I can get a good timing on the transition. Look at that. Perfect timing. And now I can place it here. See, I was pushing with my thumb. Okay. This is the guitar. The frets are still kind of rough, right? Obviously, because I just finished off with a diamond file. I can remove this protection here from the nut. Now usually I have a camera here. I can show you close-ups, but now the camera that's normally here is here. I don't know if you can see it. So I'm going to need to buy another camera. I do have 2 open channels there, permanently mounted on the outside somehow, so that I don't need to do this thing every time I work on the outside. So here, I just remove the tape here from the nut. Always protect the nut. You don't want to damage it. could be a lot of work to repair it. Okay. Let's see. Okay. 8 people watching. Actually 7, because my phone counts as 1. So 7 people watching. Too many comments for me to read, but I see the usual crowd. Thank you guys, I really appreciate it. And I'm sure you've invited your friends, or maybe not personal friends, but people from guitar forums. So yeah, just you know, invite people, let them know about this channel, because I believe if you're watching, if you have become regulars, you must be getting some kind of value out of this content, and other people will get value as well, which is one reason why I'm doing it. Yeah, so I'm going to take a short break again, maybe a slightly longer break than last time, but not too long, because it's almost 10 p.m. And then I want to polish these frets so I can put the strings back. Now, will I be putting a sacrificial set of strings? I removed the old strings because they were too bad. They were, you know, really bad, yeah, really old. So we need to adjust the nut, right? So after leveling the frets. So I should be putting on a sacrificial set of strings first, which are just going to be the Dario EJ16 strings, these. Okay, simply because they're a bit cheaper than the strings that we are going to put on at the end, which are the Dario XS strings. Okay, I do need to take this short break now. And another text message came in, so this is a great time to take a break for me, because I can reply. And that's it. And I think maybe, like, realistically, a half-hour break. I don't want it to be a half-hour break, but I think it's going to end up being a half-hour break. Okay, so, oh, and I need to recharge this battery. Yeah. So perhaps I'll see you later. And remember, I do want to live stream the review of the new Fender Strat, which is right here. I'll show you the guitar. Okay, I left right on time because look outside now. People. All right, you see? People there? Uh-huh. What I tell you. So, this is it. This is the guitar. I looked at it briefly. Fender. The new standard Stratocaster, made in Indonesia. So, obviously, they have talented people in Indonesia. They have talented people and competent people in Mexico as well, and everywhere in every country. But they also have incompetent people in all of those countries. So, which people worked on this guitar? We'll find out in our live stream. So I do want to do this tonight. I might do it before I do the fretwork. Not sure. I might not do the polish tonight. Again, I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm getting a bit tired. I've had a long day. Okay, my friends. Let me take a break, and perhaps I'll see you later. So, the minimum is going to be the review, for sure, tonight. And maybe also of the polishing of the frets. We'll see about that. Thank you, and good night. Bye-bye.